Sagittarius's big blessings in April 2025. The universe shifts for the chosen ones. Sagittarius signs 2025. Sagittarius. If life were a road trip, you'd be the one in the driver's seat with no GPS, windows down, wind in your hair, and a podcast on philosophy blaring through the speakers. But this April 2025, the universe isn't just handing you a map, it's flashing a neon sign: exit here for destiny. Welcome, fellow seeker, to Zodiac Talks Tarot, where ancient wisdom meets modern soul searching. You see, April isn't just another month, it's a cosmic checkpoint. And for Sagittarians, those wildly curious, sometimes chaotically optimistic chosen ones, this is your moment. Not because the stars say so, but because you are finally tuned in enough to hear what they've been whispering all along. The energy this month? Palpable. Like the hum in the air before lightning strikes or before you impulsively book a flight to Bali on a Tuesday. But this isn't about escapism anymore. Not this time. That familiar tug in your gut isn't saying run. It's saying rise. You're not being gifted blessings like party favors. Nope. You're being offered a doorway, a cosmic threshold. And guess what? You don't need to knock. You just need to walk through. Trust, that slippery, elusive thing you usually lend only to good books and baristas who get your coffee order right, that is your guide now. So take a breath, Sagittarius. You're not chasing freedom anymore. You are freedom. And the universe? It's cheering you on with every star in the sky. You've spent years in a dance between expansion and contraction, growing in bursts, then pulling back just as quickly, like a flame afraid of its own heat. But that pattern? It's dissolving now. Because 2025, the year of triumph, isn't here to coddle you. It's here to crown you. For Sagittarius, this moment isn't about becoming someone new, it's about revealing who you've always been underneath the noise. No more hiding behind irony, no more using restlessness as a mask for avoidance. This is the year you show up fully, fiercely, and without explanation. And let's be honest, not everyone is going to clap. Some will tilt their heads, squint at your light, and wonder when you got so intense. That's okay. Their confusion is not your concern. What you used to label as being bored or itching for change was never really about boredom. It was your soul signaling that the surface isn't enough. That there's something richer, more resonant, calling you forward. It's divine discontent, a sacred nudge that whispers, "You're not done yet." And while your instinct might still be to pack a bag and search for answers on the next mountaintop, this time, the wisdom is turning inward. The world around you, with all its tempting detours and glittering distractions, is starting to lose its pull. Not because it's broken, but because you've outgrown it. You're beginning to see the truth. Freedom isn't found in running, it's found in rooting. And no, that doesn't mean settling. It means anchoring into purpose, into meaning, into the kind of growth that doesn't need applause to be worthwhile. Mastery isn't flashy. It's quiet. It's internal. It's earned in the moments you stop performing and start becoming. And Sagittarius, if anyone is ready to take that leap into a deeper, more authentic version of themselves, it's you. Let's paint a picture. You're standing at the edge of a new journey. But unlike your usual Sagittarius style pack a bag, book a flight, figure it out later kind of journey, this one feels quieter, deeper. Like it's less about where you're going and more about who you're becoming along the way. No boarding passes required, just presence, and a willingness to listen to that small voice within that says, "This time, let's do it differently." See, impulse has always been your ride or die. Your superpower, and, let's be honest, your Achilles heel. But this moment, this crossroads isn't asking for your speed. It's asking for your wisdom. The kind of wisdom that comes not from books or podcasts, but from living, falling, rising, reflecting. That's what makes the difference between a traveler and a seeker, between a wanderer and a guide. And Sag, whether you're ready or not, people are watching you now, not to judge, but to follow. You're becoming someone who doesn't just chase adventure, but who embodies meaning. Now, just when you're getting into your rhythm, bam! The universe throws a wild card into your orbit. Someone magnetic. Someone intriguing. Someone who lights up your inbox or maybe your third chakra. Is it fate? A soulmate? Or just a beautifully wrapped distraction in spiritual disguise? Here's where the real work begins. Because in the past, you may have jumped heart first into these cosmic connections without asking if they nourished your growth or just fed your ego. But now, you've got to pause. Reflect. Ask, is this alignment or attachment? Evolution or old pattern? Because here's the thing about being one of the chosen ones, your path isn't about chasing anymore. It's about attracting, resonating, aligning. And sometimes, the biggest flex is not diving headfirst into the new shiny thing but smiling, stepping back, and letting clarity lead. And if you do end up kissing someone under the stars? Well, just make sure it's not while you're supposed to be meditating. The Fool has stepped into your spread, Sagittarius, and no, not as an insult, but as a divine invitation. In the tarot, the Fool isn't the village idiot. He's the sacred beginner. The wild-hearted wanderer who dares to step forward with an open heart and empty backpack. And for someone like you, who's often 10 steps ahead of the moment, that's both thrilling and terrifying. You see, beginnings are holy. But they require something most fire signs don't always love: humility. The willingness to say, I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. That's where the magic lives. Not in mastering the map, but in trusting the step. The Fool reminds you to unlearn before you relearn, to drop your attachment to knowing exactly how things will unfold. Because here's a cosmic spoiler: growth rarely feels like a victory march. More often, it feels like stumbling through a dark hallway, hands outstretched, heart wide open. And speaking of hallways, this month, you're being called inward. I know inward isn't your favorite direction. You'd rather be boarding a plane or signing up for a spontaneous philosophy seminar in Athens. But trust me, Sagittarius, the greatest odyssey you'll ever take is the one within. This is not the season for escape. It's the season for sacred stillness. Put down the passport, pick up the journal. Sit. Breathe. Listen. Let silence teach you what your busy brain has been trying to outrun. The world will still be there when you return, but you will be different. Your fire doesn't need to burn in all directions. Let it warm you from within. Let it illuminate your inner terrain. That, dear Sagittarius, is where real freedom begins. Let's talk about something Sagittarius usually prefers to skip: feelings. Not the passionate ones, not the fiery ones, but the heavy ones, the sticky, complicated, unfiltered emotions that linger long after the adventure ends. You, my friend, are a master of forward motion. But April is handing you something far more radical: stillness. And not the spa day kind. The soul-deep kind. Because here's the cosmic truth: unprocessed emotions are like overpacked suitcases. You can keep lugging them around, pretending they're just part of the journey, but eventually, they slow you down. That resentment from 3 years ago? That quiet guilt you never quite acknowledged? That unspoken grief tucked under your humor? It's time. Time to unpack. Time to sit with what hurts, not just sprint toward what distracts. The past isn't your prison, Sagittarius, it's your professor. And like all good teachers, it won't stop showing up until the lesson is learned. But the moment you face it, the moment you really let go, you'll feel it. The shift. The lightness. Like someone opened a window inside you and let the breeze in. Now, once you've cleared the clutter, here comes the fun part, giving. Sagittarians are generous by nature, but this month, you're invited to give without performance. Without needing applause. When you offer your time, your insight, or even your presence from a place of wholeness rather than ego, something profound happens. You stop hustling for worth and start flowing with purpose. Reciprocity, after all, is not a transaction, it's a vibration. And the universe? It always pays in full. Just maybe not with cash. Sometimes it's peace, sometimes it's clarity, and sometimes it's the exact person you need showing up right when you stopped looking. So lighten the load, open the heart, and let generosity be your new travel companion. Something's stirring in the fire, Sagittarius, and no, it's not your chili recipe or your travel plans to Patagonia. It's something deeper, more primal. The Ace of Wands has risen in your energetic field, and that, my dear Archer, is no small flicker. It's a cosmic ignition. A creative wildfire. A divine reminder that the passion you thought you'd lost, those half-sketched dreams, half-written novels, half-pursued callings, they didn't die. They were simply waiting for you to slow down long enough to listen. And now, they're roaring back. This isn't the season to sit around daydreaming while your to-do list gathers spiritual dust. This is the moment to build, to sculpt, to produce. Creativity isn't a luxury for you right now, it's a sacred responsibility. Not because the world demands it, but because your soul does. And when Sagittarius creates from soul instead of ego, the results don't just sparkle, they sing. You're not here to impress, you're here to express. There's a difference, and this month, you'll feel it in your bones. Now, just to make sure you're paying attention, the runes have something to say too. Thor's rune crashes in first like a cosmic drumbeat announcing swift, radical change. Don't resist it. Ride it like you were born in a thunderstorm. Because let's be honest, you kind of were. Then there's Fu, the rune of abundance. It whispers what every Sagittarius needs to tattoo on their mirror: good fortune flows not to the fastest, but to the most aligned. In other words, stop chasing. Start tuning in. And finally, Purr, the rune of mystery and grace, nudges you lovingly: not every step must be calculated. Be curious. Be open. Let life surprise you. Because the truth is, Sagittarius, you don't need all the answers to begin. You just need the courage to pick up the bow again, and this time, aim not with ambition, but with purpose. Let me be clear, Sagittarius, April isn't just giving you a gentle pat on the back and a cookie. It's giving you a challenge. Not the kind that says, "Can you survive this?" but the kind that asks, "Can you rise to meet the version of yourself you've been dreaming about?" This month doesn't reward the reckless, but it does bow in reverence to the brave. And here's the secret sauce: you don't need to fight your way through this season, you need to feel your way. The chosen ones of your sign, you wild-hearted, truth-hunting, slightly dramatic in a lovable way creatures, you are not just feeling the spark this time, you're finally wise enough to follow it. Your compass isn't some 5-step plan or productivity hack. It's your intuition. It always has been. Now it's sharp. Ready. Pointing north. Because here's what most people don't realize, this isn't about luck. April 2025 isn't some cosmic lottery win. It's about readiness. The stars are aligned, yes, but so are you. The synchronicities will show up, the right conversation, the curious detour, the song that hits different, and when they do, don't overthink them. Don't scroll past the signs. Trust the tug. Trust the timing. And most importantly, trust you. This is your chapter, Sagittarius. Not someday. Now. The year of triumph 2025 isn't waiting, it's already unfolding like a story you forgot you were the hero of. Your spotlight's warm. Your path is lit. And all that's left is to step forward with the fire only you carry. And if this message cracks something open in you even a little, honor that. Let it move you. And if you're ready to walk this cosmic path together, like, share, and subscribe to Zodiac Talks Tarot. We've got stars to read, stories to tell, and a whole lot of soul to explore. Keep watching the skies, Sag. But remember, you're not just under the stars. You are the fire they reflect.